I am Larry Hatcher. This is Psych 302, Computer Applications and Data Analysis. And we're looking at Jamovi Exercise 070, 01, chi-square test of independence, college, major, and handedness. The investigation. Imagine we're interested in the concept of handedness. The fact that most people prefer to perform most tasks with one hand rather than the other. The hand that a person prefers to use for most tasks, such as writing, is the dominant hand. In the current investigation, we want to determine whether handedness is related to college major. Based on a review of previous research, we plan to investigate the following research hypothesis. There will be a relationship between handedness and college major, in which A, the proportion of left-handed people who are art majors will be greater than the proportion of right-handed people who are art majors, and B, the proportion of left-handed people who are business majors will be smaller than the proportion of right-handed people who are business majors. We didn't make any predictions regarding relative proportion of left-handed people versus right-handed people who would be science majors. Our research method to investigate this research hypothesis, we constructed a questionnaire with just 2 questions. They were, first, what is your college major? Check just one response. I'm an art major versus I'm a business major versus I'm a science major, or none of the above describes me. Question 2, which of the following best describes you? Check just one. I'm left-handed, I'm right-handed, I'm neither of the above describes me. Observe frequencies in the cross-tabulation table. We administered this short questionnaire to a large sample of college students. To keep things simple for purposes of this chapter, let's assume that none of the participants checked none of the above for either of these questions. Imagine we obtained usable responses from 1,494 participants. For each of the subgroups of interest, we computed observed frequencies, number of people who appeared in that subgroup. We organized the results into the following cross-tabulation table. And here it is. Notice that the row variable is major. People are either art majors or business majors or science majors. The column variable is dominant hand. People were either left-handed or right-handed. Task 1, performing the analysis in Jamovi. You will now use Jamovi to analyze the observed frequencies presented in the preceding table. In doing this, follow the instructions provided in Lecture Notes 070, the chi-squared test for independent sample. Specifically, do the following. Create a Jamovi data file similar to the one that appears in the lecture notes, except the data file that you create should have the variable names, value labels, and observed frequencies that are appropriate for the current investigation. We continue on page 3, near the top of page 3 in the exercise. You'll analyze this data set by creating the same tables, bar plot, and statistics that appeared in the lecture notes. Specifically, request that Jamovi create a contingency table in which the row variable is major and the column variable is dominant hand. In the Jamovi statistics panel, request a chi-square statistic, request that it test a hypothesis, group 1 is not equal to group 2, and request Kramer's V statistic. In the Jamovi cells panel, request observed counts, expected counts, and percentages for column. In the plots panel, request bar plot, request that bar type is side by side. For the y-axis, request percentages within column. And for the x-axis, request rows. Important, add your name to the top of the Jamovi results panel. You know how to do that. We continue. I'm at the bottom of page 3. Preview of correct Jamovi results. If you create your data set correctly and perform the statistical analysis correctly, the results you obtain should match the results provided below. It's okay if your variable names and value labels are different from the ones appearing below, as long as the names and the labels you use are meaningful. And here we have preview of correct results. When you do your analysis, Make sure that your contingency table matches mine. Do you have the same values? Do you have the same observed frequencies, the same percent within column, and so forth in the cells of this contingency table? Make sure that your chi-square test table matches mine. Did you get this value for chi-square? Did you get the same p-value I obtained? In the table headed nominal, make sure that you get the same value for Kramer's V that I obtained. We continue to page 5. Your plot should look like my plot. You will use those results in getting ready for your multiple choice quiz. I'm on page 5 now, halfway down page 5. Task 2, taking the multiple choice quiz. At the same time I assign this exercise, I'll also publish a multiple choice quiz in Canvas related to the Jamovi analysis you just performed. If you can answer the questions below, you should do well on my multiple choice quiz. And here I'll mention just a few representative questions on the study guide that'll prepare you for the multiple choice quiz. How would you state the statistical null hypothesis that's being tested in the current chi-square test? With alpha set at 0.05, should we reject the null hypothesis? That is, why? That is, which result indicates that we should or should not reject the null hypothesis. You should be able to answer questions such as, following statements refer to the bar plot presented above. They are not in any particular order. For each statement, fill in the blank with the correct word. The correct word will either be larger or smaller. These statements are not in any particular order. Seems like I just said that. The bar plot shows the percent of left-handers who were art majors was blank than the percent of right-handers who were art majors. Should the word be larger or smaller? The bar plot shows that the percent of left-handers who were business majors was blank than the percent of right-handers who were business majors. Larger or smaller or what? Here's a sample item. Item 8. What was the obtained value for the index of effect size? Item 11. If I show you a written summary of the results that violates APA format, you should be able to identify the specific way that it violates correct APA format. That is the study guide for the multiple choice quiz, as is usually the case. We have task 3, uploading your Jamovi file in Canvas assignments. You will upload the Jamovi file that you just created in Canvas assignments. It's a good idea to complete the multiple choice quiz first because completing that quiz might alert you to possible errors in your Jamovi analysis. That is a quick overview of this exercise, which is Jamovi Exercise 070-01, chi-square test of independence, college major, and handedness.